Hi, everyone. This is Dee. Welcome back to the Eternal Evolution of Self YouTube channel. Thank you for being here. This is another episode of Spiritually Speaking. We have Stephen Hairfield and Jessica with us again today, and we're going to talk about dreams today and getting rid of
and stuff.
Stop being logical.
Logic is great when you're walking through a forest, because without logic, you couldn't see the open space between the trees, which basically means you would taste every tree in the forest and you would know what the different barks taste like. So logic helps us with three-dimensional reality, but we don't live in just a three-dimensional limited world. We don't. There's so many things going on. I mean, Dee, you and I have conversed in emails about death and dead people. Yeah. Dead people aren't dead. Sorry. They're just not dead. They're just at a different vibration. You can't see them. But I guess I'm crazy enough because I can talk to them.
Yeah.
Well, they know that because they like talking to me, but whatever. But my point is just lay there in the morning after a night's sleep and let your mind just float. Just let it do what it's gonna do, and it will share every dream that you had, and it'll show you what it meant. You can't use logic to do that. It won't work. It just doesn't work. Logic is excellent for three dimensions, but its fourth or fifth dimension, I mean, it ain't gonna work there. And dead people don't live in three dimensions. That's the reason we think they're dead. Duh. We know that energy doesn't die, so we also know, based on ancient language, that the word human, hue means light or energy, man means form. So break it down, people, using logic. Light form. You are a condensed version of a light form, which means you're not limited to just what form thinks. You can go outside that. You can get outside the box anytime you want. That's cool. Just get outside the damn box and find out what's there. So, Dee, don't use logic to interpret a dream. It'll never match, ever. It can't.
Yeah. Just going by
Some dreams
feelings.
have no logic to them.
What?
I was just saying, some dreams they seem to have no rhyme or reason if you try to apply logic.
Well, they never, Jessica, they will never have rhyme or reason. So how's your visit to the toilet?
Oh, it's great. So far, so good.
Well, we don't hear anything, so I guess we're good.
I'm just sitting here.
I hear you.
I gotta set up a good place for these podcasts. I'm either, in my car or my bathroom.
I like the messy bedroom. That was more exciting.
Yeah.
Being a guy, so whatever. So.
Well, y'all, this is real life. This is how things go. So
exactly. Yeah.
So we were talking, the logic thing came up because I was telling him about a dream that I was supposed to remember two important things out of. And the only thing I can remember is the phrase Knights of the Centurion. And I don't remember the actual dream itself, but I remember that phrase. And so that's what we were talking about a little bit. And also getting out of the logical mind. And I told Stephen, and I've told you too, Jessica, this past week, I've had some really interesting experiences where I feel like I'm walking in, like, it's very surreal. Like I'm walking in a dream and things are like, I feel like I could actually put my hands into things that appear to be solid. So there's definitely no logic to that. I mean, it's very interesting when logic gets out of the way and you just let yourself feel the things,
Well, I've lost all forms of video here, but I hope you can still hear me. Can you?
We can, yes.
All right. Well, I can't see you. I don't know if you can see me.
Yeah, we can see. I can see you.
I can see you too.
Okay, well, it's just a mystery to me then. How fun.
No logic there.
No, I don't. I've spent enough time in different places in the world and interacting with different people in the world to know that logic is a very limited resource, and that I've learned to not limit myself to my logical side. Logic, like you've heard me, both of you have heard me say, logic is great for a three-dimensional reality, but for anything other than three-dimensional reality, it's useless because it can't go by that. It's not able to go by three-dimensional thinking and three-dimensional illusions, if you will. And I find that the most interesting thing because that's what most people rely on.
That sounds logical.
Oh, there we go.
Sorry, I couldn't resist. The opportunity presented itself.
But that's quite all right. Well, I'm sitting here telling the system that I'm joining in a meeting, and it's telling me whatever that means.
I don't know. Well, you're still here. You haven't left on our end, so it's looking good from over here.
Okay, then I just have to settle into the fact that I'm bilocating.
Yeah, apparently so, which is not logical at all.
Well, like you've already heard me say, logic does not compute.
Does not compute. Absolutely. Well, while I'm thinking about it, we did have a comment on the previous video where I had asked you about a dream interpretation, and that comment was from a viewer who's asking about recurring dreams. So what can you tell us about recurring dreams? Because I want to make sure that that question is addressed. Well, it was more of a comment, but still.
Well, okay, that's going to depend on what the dream actually is. But the essence of recurring dreams is, look, here's how it works. And I hope this makes sense. I wish I could see you guys, but not able to do that unless I log out and come back in. You okay with that?
That's fine with me, whatever you prefer.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. See you in a minute.
Hopefully.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know you can still hear me because I can hear you.
We can still hear you for sure.
Well, by golly gee willikers, there you are.
Hey, here we are.
Yay. So how's the toilet going?
Yeah, so far so good.
Okay. You know what? I do want to say to you though, Jessica, next time pick a different location.
I just don't have good luck. And I have
no. Look,
Oh,
a messy
you're about
bed
to get monked.
is a good. Yeah, she is. A messy bed is a good thing. At least it lets people know that no matter what, you had a rowdy night, either by yourself or with 5,000 people. It doesn't matter. It's just the idea that there it is. And now here you are sitting in the bathroom, sitting on the toilet and contemplating your navel. It's like, whoa. No. So when we talk about repetitive dreams, that can be a variety of things. But there's one thing's for certain. Allow me to share something with everybody, especially you two. The only reason we sleep is our logic goes out, our logic stops, and then we're only right-brained. Right brain is how the soul communicates with physical form. So if you are getting repetitive dreams, then your soul is attempting to tell you very sincerely that you may need to do something different. And it depends on what the dream is. Dreams don't look. Let me give you an example of something. In a dream, you have a dream where there's two women and a man, and they're arguing. The man represents your physical form. The two women represent your emotions and your sensitive mind telling your emotions they're full of poop, that they shouldn't be doing what they're doing. It's not about three different people arguing. It's about the one person arguing with the separation of itself, which obviously means unify all of that, and that won't happen. Okay. You have a dream. Let's say it's a house and it's a stormy night. The windows are open. The stormy night, the curtains are flapping in the breeze because the windows are open. People go, wow, that's a weird dream. To me, no, it's not. Here's what that dream is actually telling you, that you're in a difficult period. You are feeling totally exposed and you can't get away from the difficulty. That's what that dream is telling you. You are the house. Your open windows are showing you where you are exposed and how you are exposed, and the storm represents difficulty going on around you. So it's nothing about a real storm. So it just depends on what that person's repetitive dreams actually are. I wish I knew, because I could tell you exactly. Did they give you any hint?
They did not. No.
Okay.
Maybe they will after
Then
they watch this one. Maybe they'll comment again and
Okay.
say,
If they do, let me know.
I will.
And even if you do it in email, I'll respond to you and I'll let them know exactly what it's telling them. Every dream is about you. Every dream. And what it's doing is showing things in your life that you're not matching, getting along with, aligning with, whatever. I saw you wiping your face, Jessica. Do you need toilet paper or something? No,
I'm good.
Can you spare a square? Can you spare a square?
No, the toilet paper's holding up my phone actually, but I'm good. Thank you.
Oh, cool. All right. So you got it sitting on the roll. I like that. Awesome. Yeah, at least it's cushioned. Just don't touch the roll. Your phone will hit the floor and we'll hear that and we'll see it. But no, dreams are amazing to me because they are totally metaphorical. You can't take any dream that you have literally, except under certain circumstances. And here's the only circumstance that I know of. One, pay attention to vividness. How vivid is it? Like, have either of you ever had a dream that seemed so real that you were in it?
Yes.
Okay. Yep. All right. We've all had those. Those I pay very close attention to because those are prophetic. They're telling you it's something that is about to occur that you don't see coming. So it's the vividness of the dream which will tell you. I mean, geez, I've had dreams that were in such Technicolor in 3D. It was amazing. And then the next day I hear Phuket gets hit by a huge ass tidal wave. But in the dream, I saw the earthquake and I felt the shaking. I mean, it was just so vivid. It was insane. The only thing I didn't know is that it was in Thailand. But I knew somewhere in the world just got hammered. And sure enough, I get up the next morning and there it is. And I went, yeah, okay. So if they're extremely vivid, almost surreal, pay attention. Forget the dream. Remember it only in the sense of logging it, and then watch life. Just watch, because it's already telling you there's not a damn thing you're going to be able to do about it. Because if there was anything you could do about it, it would show you. Using the same example I just gave with Phuket and Thailand, let's say I had a dream and I live in the third most geologic active state in the nation. And I had a dream of a huge earthquake and I saw buildings crumbling and it was three-dimensional. It was vivid. But I also saw no water. That tells me right now This is home turf. Now,
Okay.
because I saw it means I'm going to be okay. I didn't see me losing my life in the dream, which the odds are against that anyway.
Mhm.
So now I'm aware that there's going to be a large earthquake in my area. When? I don't know. It didn't tell me that, but I know it's coming. And then sure enough, over a few days, then it happens. Then I go, yeah, okay, there it is. Now you won't share a story with you. I was in northern India, and I was having a nightmare. I'm a combat veteran, so we're prone to that sort of nutty stuff. And I was having a nightmare. My next morning, one of my teachers, Lobsang, said, you had a difficult night. And I said, yeah, I had a nightmare. And he said, what was it? And I described it to him. And he just nodded. I should have thought about it right then. And then the next night, I had the same damn dream. And here was the dream. I was standing on a ledge, and I thought I fell off the ledge and was falling to the ground. So the second night, I'm falling and falling and falling and about to hit the ground. And all of a sudden, Lobsang appears and he goes, why are you choosing to hit the ground? And I looked at him and went, what? And he said, let's go back up. And he started floating back up. And I'm going, what the? And then I start floating back up and I get back on the ledge. And here he is standing next to me. And he goes, you think you fell? I went, yeah. And he goes, no, I pushed you. Watch. And he pushed me. And I'm falling and flailing, and he's floating next to me and goes, why are you falling? I said, because I fell off the ledge. And then he went, no, I pushed you. And I went, yeah. And he goes, let's go back to the ledge. And he starts lifting back up, and then I float back to the ledge, and we're standing there. And he goes, Stephen, you can influence dreams. And I said, but I was always taught that if I saw myself die in a dream, then I was going to die in reality. And he pushed me. And I'm falling and flailing, and he's floating down next to me. Finally, I got it. And that's what I'm saying. You can influence dreams. So what I'm saying to you two is if you're having a dream that is making no sense to your logic, and it won't, ask it to show you differently. You're in the dream. You can influence the dream, is my point.
So
If you're not getting enough, go ahead.
you can ask what the dream means while you're inside of the dream. That's what you're saying?
Sort of. No, not directly, because that addresses logic.
Right. Okay.
And your logic is asleep. That's the reason I say, have it show you a different interpretation. Just ask it, show me differently.
Okay.
And I was doing that with Lobsang, and I didn't say that. When he would put, he intentionally pushed me. What a bonehead. And me being a rookie, but I finally got it. He pushed me the last time, and I stood there going, now what? And he goes, you understand. Because in a dream, ask yourself a logical question. How much physical weight do you actually have?
Don't in a dream.
Zero.
Right.
Exactly. So why would you fall? That's logical.
Yeah.
Oh.
So logic will interplay in the dream, but it won't help you understand it.
Mhm.
But if you're having a dream that makes no sense, ask it to replay it. Just say replay. Think to yourself. You're aware of the dream, so you can be aware enough to ask a question.
Yeah.
I do it all the time. I've even said to a dream, that makes no sense. And then it really gives me something nonsensical sometimes, but
Yeah.
it gives me different perspectives because it knows, my soul knows I'm playing with it so that
Mhm.
I can learn to understand mastering my own self. Because whether you're awake or you're in a dream state, it's about self mastery, not about anything else. It's only about that. Do you master you, or does your physical self master you? And that's usually what happens. So get as many interpretations as you choose. Give it a shot.
I need to start asking
Find
for
out.
different interpretations because I have been dreaming a lot more, not as much the last couple weeks that I remember. I'm sure I'm still dreaming, but I have like these
No, you are.
really interesting dreams. Like one night I dreamed that these like lights and like swirling clouds of like light just kept coming out of my head, and like it's almost like the universe was like coming out of the crown of my head. It was so interesting.
Girlfriend, you missed the point. It was showing you how much illuminated understanding that you have. And you were attempting, in your dream, you were attempting to logically figure that out.
Yeah, I was a little
Won't work.
mesmerized by it. It was pretty.
You
Yeah.
know, whenever you see Christ's head, Buddha's head, Krishna's head, any ancient master, they always show a glowing head, right?
Oh God, they do.
Okay, it's like these people walked around with a glowing head. Really? I'll be damned. How do you do that? You know, when I was in India, we were at the Holy Cross Monastery deep in the Himalayas, as it's pronounced actually. And this thing is built inside a mountain. I mean, literally. And I went to grab a torch as we were entering, and Lobsang and Kaila said, "No, leave it." And I went, "Okay." But I began to notice as we journeyed through these tunnels, it was always lit.
Hmm.
And I'm going, "What the hell?" And then I'm in this library studying ancient scrolls. Now, I thought there were other monks around, and there weren't. And I didn't know that until I went to find the librarian to ask about another scroll. And I was the only one in that chamber, and it was well lit. And I'm going, "Okay, I guess I'm doing this." And as it turned out, I was. Because later the librarian returned and I asked him about the scroll. And then I asked him about the room being lit. And he just looked at me and smiled and kind of like, "Boy, what a dumbass." And he went on with his business. But that's what that symbolism means, is that when we are illumined, other people sense it, but they don't see it. People don't walk around with lighted heads. I don't know if my head was lit then, because I know my teachers, when we were walking around and we were all together, everything was just lit.
Hmm.
But nobody's head in particular was bright and shiny. It's just you could see just like it was broad daylight. And I know that's kind of weird, but not really. But that's what your dream was telling you. It's letting you know that the path that you're following is very illuminating for you and to you. You
Mhm.
just have difficulty, D, in accepting your own divine self. Don't do that. I mean, I'm just a human. No, you're not. Think
Hmm.
about the word human. Hu meaning light or energy, man meaning form. Your physical form, even though you're a female, is male. Your soul is female. You just don't unite the two. So your dream is telling you unite the two, and you understand this. When you unite soul with form, you'll remember every lifetime you've ever had. Whether you
Yeah,
believe in reincarnation or not, it's totally irrelevant
yeah,
because
I
it's
do.
real.
Yeah, it is real. It is.
Okay.
Yep.
Imagine knowing what every lifetime you've lived, the knowledge you attained that you had at your fingertips. Imagine that. Here's the funny part. Go ahead.
Isn't that the Akashic Records?
Yes. Notice my excitement.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big old damn it
Please
coming
do
out that you
share.
didn't say.
No, here's the difficulty. Akashic Records seems to be something separate from you.
Mhm.
It's not. Your Akashic Records is your DNA. You have 5 memories. Every human has 5 memories. Here they are. Conscious memory, we're way too caught up in. Subconscious memory is not your friend. That's where you store all the bullshit that you think you healed. Right. Third is cellular memory, which athletics is proving constantly that if you program cellular memory, you become the perfect athlete. Well, there's another side to that. That's where the heck illness comes from, is cellular memory, how you program your body through what you think about you. You don't accept you, you're constantly rejecting you. Your cells are going to take that on, go, and each cell's going, well, I'm just a piece of shit, so what does it matter? And then you get sick. I don't get sick, knock on wood. Because illness can't enter divine. Notice I hit my headset though, not my head. You can program your cells all in how you see yourself, and you can create perfect health. You can create perfect weight, perfect dynamics, perfect physical anything, except humans have a hard time seeing perfection because it doesn't exist. Really? I'm not going to tell God that you screwed up by creating me, dude. What kind of bullshit's that? I wanted a better chance. And God's going to go, yeah, I've got the down button right here, pal. I'm going to send you down there. It doesn't do that.
Right.
Genesis says, as God stated, you are just like me. Jesus in the book of Matthew said, even the least among you can do this, and greater things can you do. Okay, why don't people get that? You're gods.
Because they're
You just don't
using
live that
logic.
way. Oh, well, I'll be damned. Shoot, shucks. Okay, there's 3 of the memories. Your 4th memory is your genetic code, your DNA. It's your book of life that the book of Revelation talks about. Think about it. In the book of Revelation, it says, let those with the ability open the 7 seals to the book of life. 7 seals, 7 seals. Could that by any chance be 7 chakras? Oh, well, I'll be damned. And when you look in Revelation and read the description that the trumpet sounded, gee, chakras from the side look like trumpets. Well, hello. What?
Okay.
I said, oh my gosh, they
What'd you say?
do. They do. I didn't
Yes.
think about that
Yes.
before.
Okay. So your DNA is attached to those 7 seals that look like trumpets, and they're going to sound as you open them. And the book of Revelation is only talking about what the heck is going to happen to you when you open those 7 seals as you do it. It's not about the end of the world. BS religion. There, that's the wrong finger. So I didn't want to give him the right finger. So that's all right. That's not what it's meant.
Right.
So that's your 4th memory. Once you achieve your 4th memory, now you're open to the 5th. The 5th is what's known as supermind or consciousness, which means you can know anything that you so choose. Nikola Tesla was good at that. He knew how to access supermind. In supermind, it is written that everything that's ever been thought of by human is recorded in that. So you have access to all 5 of those. We only operate out of 2. 1, really. We operate consciously out of conscious mind. We ignore subconscious. We ignore cellular memory. You tell me somebody has cancer, and then you tell me what area of their body the cancer is in. and I'll describe that person to you, even though I've never met them and I have no idea who they are. Because that cancer is there because of how they see themselves and how they relate to life. Every organ in your body has a direct relationship to life. It does. Kidneys, lungs, liver, intestine, bowels, you sitting on the toilet, bladder, all of that has a direct relationship to the outer world.
Yeah.
And it's how we interpret the outer world and internalize it, which affects the physiological aspect of self.
Mm-hmm.
It's a simple idea. Life is simple. It's not easy, but it is simple once you understand it. And once you access that fifth memory, you better hold on to your shorts, because you're going to find out a lot of things you never knew or understood. Here's the trippy thing for me today. Most of the time, if I'm drawing from a past life, I know it while I'm in the middle of it. I know that's where it's coming from, even though I've never done it before.
Yeah.
I think I've never done it before. But when you've been here as many times as I have, then you're going to have overlaps, overlays. You're going to have a lot of help if you decide to use it. That's the reason they show Christ, Buddha, Krishna with illuminated heads and call them saints. No, they're not. They just understood themselves enough to know that there was a lot more depth than their logic understood.
Mm-hmm.
It's a simple dynamic. Very.
Yeah. And that's actually what you just described as what made me start believing in reincarnation, because I was raised Pentecostal and I was taught that that wasn't a thing and I didn't believe in it for a long time. And then I started paying attention to my own life and how I would know, and not just have an idea, but know with the certainty how to do certain things that I had never done before, never been around
Mm-hmm.
before, but I knew how to
Mm-hmm.
do them. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
there's only one way that I would know how to do this, and that's if I have done it before. And the only
Yes,
way
ma'am.
I've done it before, I didn't do it in this life. So it had to be another life that I did it in. So that's when I started believing in reincarnation.
You know, I'm a Vietnam vet.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing things when I was in, this is before I became a monk. I was doing things in Vietnam that people said that they couldn't believe. And then later I found out that I was in a previous lifetime was Subakte or Subaktan, depending on how you wish to pronounce it, who was Genghis Khan's right-hand man. I
Wow.
was one fierce warrior. And when I was in Vietnam, I was one fierce warrior and I had no idea where all of that was coming from. I mean, knowing what my opponent was going to do, how they were going to do it, when they were going to do it. And I was always right there to greet them. And then I later found out as a monk that that was me. And I was reliving that time in a modern period.
Mhm.
So Subakte had control of me in a combat zone, not me as me. Well, it was. But I ultimately have learned that I can call on that even now at my years. I can still use that and it's there
Mm-hmm.
because I understand those past lives. I've seen them. I know. And like I've said to you before, I can teach you a meditation that helps open that can of worms.
I'm waiting for it.
Won't do it here.
No, no,
Won't
we'll
do
do
it.
that.
Won't do it. Won't do it on a broadcast.
Yeah, that's
But I
okay.
will teach you. I will teach you and Jessica on the side.
That would
That
be
would be
awesome.
awesome.
We'll have to set
Um,
that up for sure.
and
But
the
I do
reason I
have a
the
go
reason
ahead.
hold on. The reason I don't teach people blatantly is because most people cannot handle what it does.
Mhm.
I know 176 different meditation techniques, and I use them, mainly one, but that's the one that I'm talking about. There's 7 parts to it. Interesting. It covers each of your chakras. I'm going to do it real quickly. Lam bam ram yam ham kacham om. That was it. But ain't nobody going to remember that. If you've ever watched the movie 7 Years in Tibet, that's the meditation you see the monks chanting.
Okay.
Is that one.
Very
But
interesting.
I can
Wow.
teach you specifically what it means, how it works, how it operates, and what it will do. And if either of you are interested on the side, I will teach you,
Yeah.
because I feel you two can handle it. I don't know about Jessica on the toilet though, but that's okay.
You might have to get off
Well,
the commode there, Jess.
yeah, yeah. I hope you got a cushion. I hope you got a cushion on that thing.
Yeah. No, I'm good.
That's so funny. She's royalty. She's sitting on her throne.
Ah,
That's
there you
right.
go.
There you go.
But that
Well,
meditation that meditation will also teach you that you are royalty. It shows you're your own divine being, and that's the mind blower.
Yeah.
You are God or
mhm.
goddess. It depends on whether you can wrap your head around that or not. And there's nothing to wrap your head around. Truth is a funny thing. Truth is denied until it becomes obvious, and you have no escape.
Yeah. So I just got a new deck of cards and I was playing with them before we started this recording. And I was shuffling them for the very first time and thinking, I need to, like draw myself a card for today. And I just had that thought like a nanosecond, and a card flipped out and hit the floor. And I was like, oh, wow, that was
And
quick. So I picked it up and
what 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 was it?
it was the King of Pentacles.
I'm not surprised at all. You know what that means.
Well, when I looked at
I
it,
don't. I don't have tarot. I
so
want to hear
I
it though.
so I looked at it because I read the started reading the book that came with it, and I'm new to tarot, so I'm learning. And it said you should really use your intuition more than reading the book. You can use the book to enhance what you into it. But so I didn't look at the book for the first time ever with a card. I just looked at it and let myself feel what I felt that it meant for me today. And I felt like it meant surrender for power, meaning that I need to like just allow so that I can access what I need to access. That was my interpretation of it.
The King of Pentacles is known as the patriarch, the one with the wisdom, the knowledge, the grace, the forward movement, the honoring of life, the one that is pure in intuitive sense. So don't limit it just to what the book says.
Right.
The first tarot deck I got from a gentleman by the name of James Wanless, who was the developer of the deck. And James looked at me and said, "You really want to know how to learn to use tarot?" And I went, "Yeah." And he said, "Hand me the deck I just gave you." And he opened the package and he looked at me and said, "This book you don't need." He tore it in half and threw it in garbage. And then he handed me the deck and said, "You'll figure it out." And I thought, oh, swell. But I did. And I draw a card a day, every day, just to see what the day is going to bring for me. And here's the funny thing, I've never found an accident. I use tarot all the time when I'm doing intuitive sessions with people. And here's the funny thing, I'll do all the intuitive stuff up front. I'll have them draw the cards first, 15 of them. And then I'll do the session with them. And then I'll lay the 15 cards out last. And I do it to confirm everything that I just said to them. And 99.9 times out of 100, the deck confirms everything I said to them. That's how you learn to use tarot. What's your impression before you draw a card? Draw the card, then look at it. Don't interpret, just look at the imagery on the card. Pay attention to the numbers, 1 through 9, because that's numerology. 1 is birth, 9 is end, and it tells you where you are in that. If it's a 2, if it's a 3, a 5, a 6, or a 7, it tells you where you are in that cycle. So there's a lot that you can take in from the use of tarot. Tarot is as old as dirt, almost. It goes all the way back to Egypt. Ancient Egypt is as far as they can trace it. But I've never seen an accident in tarot cards. When I have people draw 15, the first 5 are what are the influences? What are the stuff that you don't see? You may feel, sense, whatever. Second 5 is how those influences are showing themselves. What are they attempting to get you to do? And the last 5 is where is it attempting to take you? Now, here's the funny thing. I'm going to tell you all of that before we look at them. And then when the cards are being turned over and I'm explaining each card to the person one at a time, I'm walking them right through everything I just said to them. And again, the funny thing is, that's the first thing the person does. They draw the cards, and it's the last thing they see. I don't see them. They don't see them when they're drawing them, so they have no idea until we're done. And then I show them the whole story. I'll walk them through all 15. And that's what blows their freaking minds. It's like, holy shit. Well, no, that's just what's obvious to the intuitive mind anyway.
Right.
I don't have
So,
tarot. I have angel oracle cards. I've had
okay.
them for a couple years, but they don't have numbers or
No,
anything. Yeah.
I use both. I use my angel cards here at home when I get up in the morning and go, all right, what's the world going to show me today? Oh, crap. Okay. And then when I get into my office, I'll draw a tarot card and see, and I'll look at the relationship. And it's funny because they usually coincide.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's cool.
if you're going to get a tarot deck, get a tarot deck that you are attracted to.
I had my hands on quite a few decks and finally chose this one. Oops, can you see it?
What is it? It keeps disappearing. Oh, okay. Yeah. Shadowscapes.
Yes.
Yep.
The artwork is beautiful.
Yep. Yes, it is. I can't remember his name, but I have the main tarot deck I use is an artist out of Brussels, and it's a larger deck than normal. And I just love the imagery on it. But I have Russian tarot, Zen tarot, Salvador Dali. I have about 8 or 9 different decks, but I use one predominantly.
I have a fairy oracle deck too. I have a fairy oracle deck as well.
Yeah. No, I heard you. Learn to use them. D, each day draw a card in the morning when you get up out of your new deck and just look at it. Don't think anything about it. Just look at it. Look at the number on it, 2, 3, 5, 8, 9, whatever, or whether it's a major arcana, because there are only basically 22 major arcanas in the entire deck. So I usually pay close attention to those. Like there's mornings I've gotten up and I'll say to myself like, whoa, this is a day of change. And I'll get to the office and I'll draw the tower and I'll laugh and go, yeah, okay. It's the tower is a day of transformation. So, okay. Everything I believed in is about to get shattered. So why believe in anything? And let's just see what happens. But it'll give you a heads up. for sure. And it will always relate directly to you, because you're drawing it for you. Now, you may not know how the card is implying itself until the evening, when your day is basically over and you're unwinding. That's when you pick up the card again. So draw it, leave it out, and then at the end of the day, look at it and reflect on your day to see how the card related to your day. That'll teach you how to use tarot.
I'm gonna do that. Thank you.
That's the best way to learn
Cool.
tarot.
Yeah.
Is that way, to see how it relates to you. Because here's the funny thing, it'll relate to every human the same way. It does.
Okay.
We're all three-dimensional objects, and we live in a three-dimensional reality. Tarot supersedes that. Do I stake all of my decisions and choices on tarot? No. Most of them. Yes. Oh, there's some days I won't make a decision. If it's an 8-day, like this is an 8-year, real skeptical of this year for a lot of reasons. But if it's an 8-day and you come into my office and go, Stephen, here's a 1-pound gold bar. I want to give this to you. And it's an 8-day, I'll look at you and say, hey, Dee or Jessica, can I think about it and let you know in the morning what I decide? And you're going to look at me like I've lost my mind. But you know what? It's not the day for me to be making a decision on an 8-day or a 7-day or a 5-day. I don't make decisions. I'm going to let everything play out the way it is, and I ain't going to mess with it.
Okay.
I'll wait till the day after, because 5 is midpoint. 7 is a period of you're climbing a mountain. You're almost at the top, but you're not quite there, but you're bone tired and you're thinking about going down. Do you go up or do you go down? And then an 8-day is like, holy crap, you're almost there, but not quite. You're not sure. So if it's an 8-day, you can hand me a gold bar weighing 1 pound and I'll go, I need to sleep on that.
Interesting.
Well, that's just a way of the universe saying, you really need to think about this before you take it, because there's more involved than them just handing you a gold bar. So
Yeah.
I won't necessarily do that.
So
And I go by impression. Go ahead.
getting back to the kind of dream thing, what is the functional, maybe might be the right word, difference between a dream and a vision?
Not much. Not much. A dream is when you're asleep. A vision can happen while you're awake, but a vision can also happen while you're asleep. Sometimes when I'm doing sessions with people, I'll get visions of stuff. And all of a sudden, I'll literally see a scene play out. And then I'm going to tell the person about what I just saw to give them a heads up. Yeah. But between a dream and a vision, on the surface, not much. It just depends on whether you're asleep or whether you're awake. Dreams, you don't necessarily get while you're awake, but visions you can. Crap, I've had visions happen when I'm driving a car. And I've pulled over and I've looked at the sky and gone, just don't ever do that. Well, because you can't see.
Right.
And you have no idea how long that vision is going to last.
Nope.
All I remembered the last time that happened is there was nobody around me and I could pull over. And I did. And I did. And that's when I said, don't ever do that. If I'm walking, fine. If I'm sitting, fine, but never when I'm driving a car, and it hasn't happened since. So they do hear you.
Yeah, boundaries.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I don't know about boundaries as much as we have the lead. It's up to us. And they won't intercede. They, meaning anything other than 3 dimensions, won't intercede unless you give it permission. I never gave it permission to overlay my eyes when I'm driving.
Right.
No, thank you.
So
Okay.
it does the same thing apply to visions as it does dreams, in that they're not
No.
logical either?
Well, none of them are going to be logical. Understand something. Logic can't vision. It can, but in a very limited capacity. Logic limits its visions to how much money am I going to visualize me making. It can do that. But when it comes to anything extrasensory, no. That's right brain.
Right.
We have a whole brain that consists of two halves. Left brain, which is to deal with material physical world. Right brain, which deals with intuitive sensory perception, emotion, sensitivity, creativity. I know which side of the brain I'm operating from, whether it's left or right. And the funny thing is, even right now, when I'm looking down, I know I'm coming from right brain. And that's fine. I just know that's where I'm coming from. And I also know that's where visions and sensory perception occurs, is in that right brain. Women, you are naturally more right brain than you are left brain. That's the reason to most men you make no sense. Okay. But you're not supposed to. You're sensitive. You're the epitome of sensitivity. You're the epitome of creativity. That's what women are. That's who you are. It's not what you are. Men are more steeped in their logical left brain. I just happen to be Abby normal, whatever that means. But I learned to operate in both sides as a monk, but understanding which side I'm in when I'm operating. I can drive a car in right brain. I sure as hell can. But I prefer looking at it as I'm operating in whole brain, not just right or left. You can do the same. And by the way, that meditation will do that for you. Will help you do that. So anyway, ladies, it was fun.
Yes, thank you for the insights.
And if I can do anything, let me know. And if either of you wish to, and Jessica, Dee knows how to get a hold of me.
Sure.
And you can go to my website at hairfield.com. That's HAIR, F as in Frank, IELD.com. All my contact information is there. And if that person themselves wants to know why they have a repetitive dream, they can email me, or you can email me and tell me what it is. And I can tell you specifically what that dream is.
Well, I hope
And
they will reach out.
by the way, right brain has no limit on what it can know. Left brain does, just so you know.
Yeah.
All right, ladies, thank you. I appreciate it. Anytime.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Yeah, we'll
I
see you
always
soon.
do and shall. Thank you. All right, Dee. Thank you. Jessica, thank you. Enjoy the throne.
Thanks.
That was awesome. Oh
He's
my
funny.
goodness. He is funny. He is so funny.
Yeah.
So, oh my goodness. Well, hang out for a second, Jessica. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. I hope you enjoyed that as much as we did, because it was fun and informational and inspirational and all of the wonderful things. So please like, share, and subscribe so we can get this out to all the masses, because everyone needs to know all these juicy topics and all of the wonderful information that we're learning here. So thank you so much. And as always, I love you all, and we'll see you on the next one.